Okay, another controversy in my time since I started thinking unconventionally was why step backwards. And we're talking about 1980. We're talking about Jim McNally talking about the bucket step or the, whatever Paul Alexander used to call it, the brace step. Okay, and I'm going to put a link in this one, an Australian study that of a man in a 2 point stance going forward faster by stepping backwards, and they timed it and all that. And it's empirical, but I think it illustrates that people who step backwards to go forwards make some sense. But the uh, the way to think about it is you're in a stable 2 point stance. Uh, you know, even in a 3 point stance, if you put a lot of weight on your hand, like in the wishbone, okay, you can only go forward. And yeah, why step backwards? You got all the weight forward already. Everything's good. Go forward. Problem is you can't pass block. Okay, and you can watch Army or whoever and go from there. Okay, to go forward, no matter how you step, you got to push backwards. Okay, and it dawned on me that the gondola, the Italian boat that you find in Venezia, um, I don't know where else they have gondolas, but it was a perfect illustration of why you should step backwards. Okay, so here's a gondola, and it's propelled by a stick. Okay, and if you take the stick and you put it right under, or even move it forward and try to pull the boat forward, okay, you're using torque, and it makes it's perfectly viable, but it's hard to move that boat, okay, with mechanical advantage there, okay, and if you want to use torque, the shorter you make that pole, the easier it is, okay. And you're sticking the pole into the mud, and you're trying to pull the boat forward, okay. But the real smart gondola guys, if you watch them, they take that pole and they position the pole behind the boat, okay. It's easier for them to move the pole first than to move the boat first. Well, that's just stepping backwards. They're putting their foot behind the center of gravity, okay, and they're pushing with that pole. Now, problem is that it lengthens you, and you got to make sure that you're careful with that. And moving the pole first to gain mechanical advantage is perfect, but you've got a coil on the other leg. Again, you've got a coil to get your weight down into the ground. Okay, so that was the best illustration I had of why it's easier to go forward by stepping backwards. It's easier to move that pole, that leg, that foot backwards quickly, and we're never going to move the weight backwards. Guys that get in trouble with this stuff, they step backwards and put their weight on that foot. You don't want to put your weight on that foot. That'd be like taking the whole boat and sticking it on the pole. You don't want to do that. You just want to move the foot and thrust and coil on the front leg and roll over that, and you're all set. Okay? Anyway, that's my two things. Bye.